and everything in that lawsuit because of that copyright, right? But if a robot does it, steals your work and everything, it is okay because it's a robot. And there's no, no consequences behind it. Is that what he's trying to say? I'm about to rewind this back a little bit real quick.
Technology, artificial intelligence, has emerged that has a similar potential to transform many aspects of our lives. And once again, as our technology evolves, we must determine if our laws must evolve as well. Although AI gives rise to a myriad of issues, today we are focusing on the intersection between artificial intelligence and copyright. Even within this limited sphere of the law, I find myself with far more questions than answers as we begin this inquiry. At its core, the fundamental question we must ask is, how can we promote innovation and further development of generative artificial intelligence models while also protecting the rights of creators whose works are the engine that fuels these models and who must compete with AI-generated work in the marketplace? This is not an easy balance to strike, and many answers just lead to more questions. For example, a typical AI model trains on vast quantities of data, analyzing the underlying text, images, or music as it learns to make predictions based on that information to generate new works. Much of the information on which these generative AI systems rely is found in copyrighted works. But typically, these works are used without seeking the permission of the copyright holder. And worse yet, there is little transparency as to which copyright works are used, thus preventing creators from asserting their rights. In effect, AI systems are generating new content based on their work, content that may one day directly compete with their work, but without their knowledge or consent, and certainly without compensation.
I'm not wrong.
This is a troubling development, but the solutions are far from clear. What is the proper way to license these works and to monitor compliance? And what sort of transparency and accountability should be built into these systems? It's time to begin considering these important issues. As we wrestle with these questions about how to treat the inputs into a generative AI system, there are equally thorny questions about the outputs. How should the copyright laws treat works that are generated by an AI model? The Copyright Office recently offered guidance on that question. According to the guidance, only works of, quote, human authorship are eligible for copyright protection. He goes on to explain that it is necessarily a fact-specific inquiry to determine where the line is between human work that is merely assisted by AI technology and works in which the traditional elements of authorship were actually conceived and executed by the AI model itself. To add further complexity, in some cases, certain aspects of a single work may be eligible for protection while others are not. We must consider whether the Copyright Office has the tools and resources it needs to evaluate AI-related applications and to enforce existing rules. Finally, there are important questions about.
So I'm not wrong. These robots are capable of stealing our work from us. What we have worked hard for. Like, basically, if I sit here and I write a poem and I put it on the internet and I don't have it copyrighted the right way or whatever, and even I think if I do, if this AI comes across it and decides to use it, he can't get in trouble because the copyright is only eligible for humans, not robots. This is crazy. Wow. Basically, the robots are able to steal all our information and get away from it. Like them chips. Crazy part is there's a fucking human behind that robot controlling it somewhere around here. And the videos that, whatever it's recording and analyzing, there's somebody else over there also analyzing the same shit. Because there's got to be a robot behind the human somewhere, right?
The impact that AI-generated works will have on the market for human-authored works that may have served as the foundation for generating the AI work in the first place. While we work to promote innovation in the AI realm, we must also ensure that artificial works do not displace human creators or threaten the ability of the creative class to thrive.
But this nigga just said the AI realm. Like, we on fucking Metroid Prime. Damn, I said Metroid like I'm playing the Super Nintendo. Terminator or the Matrix. Yo, this nigga, we got AI realms now, y'all.
Already, creators like the members of the Writers Guild of America are uniting to speak up for their own rights and to ensure that they are not replaced by AI systems. All these issues lead to a final set of questions. What, if anything, should Congress do to ensure that we strike the right balance between protecting creators and promoting innovation? These complex issues? Should we wait and see how AI technology evolves before taking any action, or let these issues play out in the courts?
That's a great question. So for everybody out there, whether y'all in the chat, whether y'all catch the replay, that's a great question. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. I asked it earlier. I'm gonna take it back just real quick, right here.
Elements of authorship were actually conceived and executed by the AI model itself. To add further complexity, in some cases, certain aspects of a single work may be eligible for protection, while others are not. We must consider whether the Copyright Office has the tools and resources it needs to evaluate AI-related applications and to enforce existing rules. Finally, there are important questions about the impact that AI-generated works will have on the market for human-authored works, works that may have served as the foundation for generating the AI work in the first place. While we work to promote innovation in the AI realm, we must also ensure that artificial works do not displace human creators or threaten the ability of the creative class to thrive. Already, creators like the members of the Writers Guild of America are uniting to speak up for their own rights and to ensure that they are not replaced by AI systems.
He just said to ensure that they're not replaced by AI systems. I'm gonna leave that one for food. I'm gonna leave that food for thought for y'all. Like, yo, this is crazy. But listen to what the question he asked.
All these issues lead to a final set of questions. What, if anything, should Congress do to ensure that we strike the right balance between protecting creators and promoting innovation? These complex issues? Should we wait and see how AI technology evolves before taking any action, or let?
So that's a great question. Can y'all answer that? Should we wait and see how technology evolves or handle it in the court systems? Or I got an even better question. Should us humans do something about it now instead of waiting and see how technology evolves, or waiting and see if the court systems will fight it off and give us another distraction, and then boom, out of nowhere we got robots flying out the sky?
Let these issues play out in the courts? There are no easy answers, but I appreciate the opportunity to be thinking through these important questions with our distinguished panel of witnesses. I thank the chairman for holding this hearing, and I yield back the balance of my time.
I thank the gentleman. Gentleman yields back. I now ask unanimous consent that an article titled, "Will AI Value Human Creators?" ? Now the time to decide the future of our culture. Put it into the.
That's another great question. Do y'all think that AIs will value mankind? Do y'all think they will value mankind?
The record. I now ask that that be placed in the record. I additionally ask, and I'll distribute copies for unanimous consent, that ChatGPT's answers for when we asked it to argue for regulation and when we asked it to argue against regulation be both put in the record. And I will say that it's a convincing argument in both directions. And with that, I now have the honor of introducing our distinguished panel. Mr. Cy Damley is a partner in copyright practice at Latham & Watkins. He is a former software engineer and specializes in technology matters, including those evolving computer systems and networks and artificial intelligence. He is previously general counsel at the Copyright Office. All of those reasons and more is why you're here. Welcome. Mr. Colison Birch is an associate professor of computer and information science at the University of Pennsylvania. He is also a visiting research scientist at the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence. And welcome. Mr. Ashley Irwin. Mr. Irwin is president of the Society of Composers, Lyricists, and an Emmy Award-winning music director, conductor, composer, arranger, and producer who has scored over 30 featured films, 300 hours of television, and over 3,000 commercials. And I suspect the commercials probably made you the most as that sometimes goes.
Sure.
Mr. David Navarro. Mr. Navarro is a Grammy-nominated songwriter, singer, recorder.
Yo, if y'all don't wake up after hearing all these meetings that they have, listen, I'm hoping that y'all do your research, because it's coming. Y'all not ready for it. I wonder how many of y'all is really ready for it. Y'all ready? Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of your shorty Racheal and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one.
Artist, voice actor. He was formerly in the duo Lauren and Navarro, released 13 albums and performed over 1,500. This was done by my staff, not by AI, gigs. And is currently a solo artist who tours constantly, but has blessed us with a day off the road with no compensation, and for that we're very appreciative. Mr. Jeffrey Sidlick is the president and CEO of Plus Coalition, which is a global nonprofit initiative to make it easy and fast to search for, find, communicate, and understand information about photographs and visual artworks. Mr. Sedlick is also a member of the Joint Committee on Ethics in AI and a professional photographer. I want to welcome all of our witnesses, recognizing that this is a judiciary committee. I'm going to ask you to all rise to take the oath. And raise your right hand for the camera. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, under penalty of perjury, that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and correct to the best of your knowledge, so help you God? Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record indicate that all witnesses answered in the affirmative. As you may know from watching C-SPAN, your entire record we placed, your entire statement will be placed in the record, along with, without objection, any extraneous material you see fit now or in the next 5 days to include, so that as we go through this, if you realize there's something you should have said, would have said, or wanted to say, you'll be allowed to supplement. With that, Mr. Damley, you're first up for 5 minutes. Because we have a lot of people up on the dais that want to ask you questions, I will ask that each of you try to limit right to that 5 minutes or less. Gentleman is recognized.
Chairman Issa, Ranking Member Johnson, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for inviting me to participate in today's hearing. I am a former software engineer, former general counsel of the U.S. Copyright Office, and currently a partner at the law firm Latham & Watkins, LLP. I'm here testifying solely in my personal capacity and not on behalf of my law firm, any of the firm's clients, or the U.S. Copyright Office. My testimony today will focus on the copyright implications of AI training. But first, I would like to put those issues into context. The AI tools of the present and near future will impact almost every aspect of the human experience. They will improve our science and our medicine. They will make our military more effective. They will make our businesses more efficient and productive. They will enable anyone to more fully unlock their creative potential. In short, AI has the potential to transform our economy and improve our society as a whole. But that outcome is not guaranteed. The way we regulate AI will directly determine whether the United States will continue to lead the world in AI development or whether another country will take up that mantle. In considering whether to impose intellectual property-based restrictions on AI innovation, Congress should carefully evaluate whether those restrictions will hamper the development of AI here in the United States. At the same time, artists, writers, and other creators have expressed genuine concern that the rapid development of AI will displace human authors. Policymakers should take those concerns seriously. But taking a step back, it's important to appreciate that every new technological development has caused similar fears. And in hindsight, we can see that those fears have not come to fruition. To just take one example, when photography was invented in the mid-1800s, one prominent critic dismissed the medium as, quote, the refuge of every would-be painter, too ill-endowed or too lazy.
Yo, to be honest, this AI artificial stuff has been going on for the longest. They've been trying to prove this for the longest, in my opinion. It's a shorty's opinion. And they're really trying hard to get it to come out in 2023. This is why when I'm done these two meetings that I got right here, I want y'all to see this other interview that I found of Sophia Stewart, the creator of the Terminator and the Matrix. But I'm about to pause this. I'm gonna give it like 4 more minutes of him talking. I'm gonna pause it right here, and I'm gonna reschedule the live that I got for 4 o'clock today, and because I gotta step out real quick. I'm gonna end up doing part 3 today. So as soon as I'm not scheduling this live, nothing. I'm gonna just start it. So just know that I'm gonna reschedule the one that I got today, and we're gonna do part 3 today because I do gotta step out.
To complete his studies. And he predicted that photography would, quote, corrupt art altogether. Now, I'm sure Mr. Sedlick can tell us how much he disagrees with that sentiment as an accomplished photographer. And of course, society embraced the camera as a creative tool, and photography blossomed as an art form that deepened rather than diminished the field of human creativity. There is no reason to believe that generative AI is any different. Like the camera or the many creative tools adopted since, generative AI will be an engine of human creativity, not a replacement for it. So with that context in mind,
So basically, humans are supposed to be creating it, but allegedly, from, if you want to go by theories, you want to go by myths, you want to go by stories, you want to go by everything else, you want to go by the truth that's been exposed, allegedly, right? They're to take over the world, allegedly. Are robots really going to really benefit mankind is the biggest question. Or is it that, they will benefit mankind, but somebody wants to get extra greedy and something goes bad? Man, there's 2 coins to a penny. 2 sides to a penny. 2 sides to a coin.
I want to make 2 points today.
And my bad. Good and evil does exist.
First, copyright's well-established fair use doctrine is the best way to balance the competing interests in the AI space. For the reasons I explain in detail in my written testimony, the training of AI models will generally fall within the established bounds of fair use. While some AI models may very well exceed those bounds, our courts are well equipped to handle those situations. The concerns that some have raised that AI models can replicate artistic styles are completely understandable. But the solution does not lie in copyright law, which does not and has never granted monopolies over artistic or musical styles. Second, some groups have proposed a collective licensing regime for AI training data. Such a regime would eliminate fair use in this area, replacing it with a rigid assumption that AI training is infringing.
Why do they keep saying training? These are robots. They're programmed. Like, I'm really getting tired of them sugarcoating and trying to cover up certain words. Like, no, y'all programming these robots. These robots don't get trained.
I believe that would be a mistake. But if Congress were nevertheless interested in setting up a collective licensing regime, it should be aware of some of the serious practical challenges it will face. I detail those challenges in my written testimony, but fundamentally they are rooted in the fact that successfully training an AI model requires using many billions of pieces of content. That's many orders of magnitude larger than the number of works covered by any similar scheme in the history of American law. In short, Congress has already adopted a copyright law that is technology neutral and flexible enough to balance the need for a dynamic domestic AI industry with the rights of creators. I look forward to answering your questions today.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it right here, guys. I hope that y'all enjoyed the live stream. I will be doing a part 3 as soon as I get back, y'all. So just give me a minute. I want to thank everybody that showed up, that showed support. Thank you. Like, yo, listen, the channel will grow. I want to thank everybody. Like, I want to thank everybody that is, coming along in a shorty's journey, that is, watching me grow, that is supporting a shorty. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not just on here on social media trying to bring awareness. I'm out here putting in the footwork. And I think that a lot of us should come out here and put the footwork into. Till next time, this is your shorty Rachel. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day. And I will see you in a little bit on part 3 to this live.